from when I log in through after. Mike says truth social posts suck. Now there's something we can all agree on. Oh, Donald, just stay off True Social, please, for all of our sake. Gene, good morning. Mohammed, good morning. Hope you all are doing well. What's going on? Um, today's red. I mean, once again, guys, we'll talk about this. The one percenters, I think, are relatively minor in the grand scheme of things. They still are obnoxious. Don't get me wrong, especially when the market was, up overnight, flashed down 2% in 20 minutes or whatever. But I think it's hard to draw too much meaning out of a 1% news driven flush right now, just in the grand scheme of where the market's been. Let me see just real quick here. Let me give you an accurate number since the May 7, just so we're looking at things. So May, hold on. I'm going to give you a correct percentage from, or sorry, April 7. Okay, so April 7, we were up 20.5% on the S&P in 6 weeks. 20.5%. So hard to draw too much meaning out of a 1%, 2% flush. But I agree, it's annoying. And if dear Donald could stay off True Social, it would do us all a favor. I bought some puts on the VIX, VIX puts, just because I think lately these flushes calm down more quickly and more quickly. I mean, that's one of the things that I've been playing more lately is, number one, I'm bullish, but number two, I think the market is starting to adapt and get quicker at shaking off some of these flushes. It seems like every time there is a True Social post, it's a shorter time frame before the market shakes it off. You guys remember not too long ago, there'd be 2-3 days of follow through and panic. And then there was, a day and a half. And then there was half a day. Now it seems like an hour. And the market is, all right, here we go again. And it's kind of shaking that off. That doesn't mean we're going to go green on the day, but just kind of settling back down. That's why I played the VIX instead of playing the SPY directly. Although I did play Bitcoin directly. And I'm curious, already up about 1% from the bottom there. Bitcoin red on the day, but up about 1% from the bottoms there so far. I like financials potentially as a little bit of a bounce back weekend play as well. Long weekend play. So we'll see a couple different things to look at here. But VIX puts is kind of the first thing I bought here this morning, and I'd like to see it come down, back to 20 or 21, because that's like a 10% move here in the by early next week. So morning, Suzanne. Eugenia. I don't know. I'm probably not saying that right. Who else we got? Shirley, hello. John, hello. Hi, Stacy. Anyone got big long weekend plans? Hey, Faith. Hey, Brian. Ryan from LA. Oh, you're up early, Ryan. Rafi, hello. Good morning. Carlos, hi. How are you? Yeah. Yeah, that's what we say to Kane. We're like, "Oh, Kane, sorry to make you go live at 6:30 a.m. with a webinar." Because, well, I got to be up to, the market opens on my timeline, whether I like it or not. So he's in the same boat. Hey, Samuel, Howard, John. We've got lots of Johns. Hi, Michael. Don, how are you? So Don, the VIX is the volatility index. Some people will call it the fear index. It's not the best definition, but it's close enough. And so often with the VIX, you get those oversized spikes when the market panics. And then if the market is able to rebound or stabilize, the VIX will come down more quickly than the market will necessarily go up. So for example, SPY dropped about 2% from the peak overnight to the low overnight, now down about 1% on the day. VIX was up 20%. And so, it's kind of an extension. Now, if the SPY just goes from negative 1% here and just kind of is boring and grinds to, say, negative 0.5% by the end of the day, so not even a positive move on the day, the VIX will probably come all the way back down to just a few points higher than it was yesterday. So it'll kind of over spike and then overcorrect on the way back down. And so, that's one of the ways you can play it. Grandma was telling them the first thing I did this morning is I just bought some puts on the VIX just in case this is another one of those quick
Mm,
shakes and an overreaction. I think we actually are seeing the market shake off Donald more quickly. Like the first, in January, it was like 3, 4 days of panic. Then it was 1 or 2. Then it was half a day. Now it kind of seems like an hour. Oh, Donald's at it again, and kind of the market gets back to whatever it was doing before. And so I just bought VIX puts because I thought those would be a better reaction than necessarily a bullish play. Although I did also buy some IBIT calls once again because I feel like every flush right now is a buy opportunity.
yeah.
So
Yeah, and you can actually see, let me just show you here to confirm kind of what you're saying. Let's look back, guys, at like March, April, when we had those negative news events. Let me find a good like we'll get these gap downs and then just a flush out, gap down, flush out. These were the ones where the market wasn't buying, right? This was after Liberation Day, flush out, next day, bam again. We're not seeing that so far today. We're actually seeing a little bit of movement upwards on the news. And relatively speaking, like look at Bitcoin, like to Nate's point, look how strong Bitcoin. It doesn't even like if you're just looking at this chart at a glance, it doesn't even look like it's down. Now it's down about 1% from here, but look how strong the action has been today. I mean, look at this at the open. So here's your news today, right? The tweet, the Apple tariffs, EU tariffs,
it's not a tweet, Graham. You got to use proper language.
the Truth
It's Truth,
Social
Truth Social
post,
post.
the
Okay, let's be
truth,
pro.
the truth. News, bam, down. We're already almost back to where the news was. Very, very strong in the markets today. So to your point, I mean, just look at the strength here. Again, this is what we were saying yesterday in the roundtable. We had an emergency roundtable that Bitcoin is no longer trading like the speculative asset that it used to trade like, right? Markets would be down 1%, Bitcoin would be down 3%. We're not seeing that right now. We're seeing strength in Bitcoin, similar to what we've seen in gold. And I expect this to continue as long as economic uncertainty continues or potential trade wars or anything at the moment that's really going on. Now, gold is making a nice pop higher as well today, too. So there you go. In other news, does anyone have Oklo?
Dude, I just sent out a post. I said, I'm so jealous of Graham right now. So Red Day. Well, first of all, let me say hello to. I didn't say hello to everyone. Some people chimed in. Hey, Dave, Catherine, Dan, Detroit Dan in the house. Hi, Dan. Catherine said she's tuning in at 4 a.m. That's awesome, Catherine. Susan in Texas. Uh, John, Sean. Hey, Joseph. All right, well, good to see everyone. But yeah, so let's set the stage here. We've got a red day. I wake up in the morning mad at Trump. Down 30 grand in my account or whatever. Graham texts me and says, check out Oklo. I pull up that chart. 23%?
23.
Ridiculous.
I know. So we had news, uh, other news outside of the tariff news that basically Trump wants to cut the red tape around nuclear energy production. He wants to fast scale executive order. Very, very good news for Oklo. Also, the one of the chairman of Oklo is appointed as head of the nuclear energy committee, whatever you call it, inside the government. So, wow, could not have worked out better for us with our trade on Oklo. Now, I happen to be very risk on. Right, I'm still pretty young, so I put my whole retirement account into it, which worked out good so
Yeah.
far. Um,
So are you going to roll it now, or what's your move? Hold it
I'm
till
going to
all
take
time
some
highs.
profits when we get back to all-time highs, but I really don't think I don't think we should settle for all-time highs for the long term, just because multiple reasons. One, I do believe that this is the future, whether it's going to be Oklo or another powerhouse nuclear stock, they are going to absolutely crush it over the next few years. The other reason that Oklo looks really, really good right now, and probably why it's up 25% today, is again because their chairman one of the board of directors is he's leading the committee for the White House. So
Hmm.
I have to imagine if anyone's getting contracts from the government for nuclear energy, Oklo is going to be up there at the top of the list.
So that's why my CCJ is only up 8% and your Oklo is up 23%, is what you're
That's
saying.
right. I
Wow. Well,
actually have Jav too in another
yeah.
similar-ish stock. It's up nicely today, but not nearly like Oklo. So Oklo's up 25%, GEV's up 1%.
Dorothy might actually be beating you. She got Oklo at 731.
Oh, that's awesome. I sent it out in the exotics club alert around that price.
Oh,
Now,
was
of
it that
course,
low? Okay.
yeah, I didn't go in with the heavies
Yeah.
back then, not till just recently. when we had a squeeze here. I said, I'm buying, it was this candle right here. I didn't even
I,
realize that earnings popped the next day and we've gone higher from there. But yeah, awesome job, guys. It's funny. I didn't even know about the stock. My father-in-law randomly it was at Labor Day last weekend or Thanksgiving or last year, Labor Day or Thanksgiving. I can't remember which. We were sitting around a campfire and he says, Graham, you got to check out this video. Pulls up a YouTube video and it was all about Oklo stock and what they're doing. I said, that's a sweet company. That's going to be awesome. So that was when I recommended it in exotics. But it's obviously just gone parabolic since then. It
oh
was
yeah,
like
SMR.
seven, eight
Check out
bucks.
SMR on the weekly chart. It was hit those peaks around 32
Oh
and
yeah.
has been grinding down. Just had a big breakout. If you kind of draw that trend line there, that's like a pretty clean break. So I think that one looks like,
Holy moly.
an all-time high mover as well. Um, Mike's got CCJ, Oklo, SMR. I only have CCJ. It's the only one I have. I have a good chunk of it, but that's really the only one. Oh, actually, I have UEC. I forgot. Is UEC doing anything? I don't have as
Let's,
much.
Mike,
Ah,
you got
21%.
CCJ. Mike got
21%. Let's
CCJ.
go. Sorry, East Road just reminded me that I am in good shape. I have UEC. Wait, is it me frozen or Graham frozen? I can't tell which one of us is froze.
It's Graham.
Okay.
It's Raleigh
I was
High.
thinking, I was thinking, I was thinking I could be paused or Graham could be paused. This is all right. Hold on, I got to check UEC. Thank you for someone making me feel better. Oh, there we go. Yeah, 20%. I only have, what do I have? Oh, geez, I only have 9 grand in UEC. What a loser. No, but it's cool. It's nice to see some of these big movers. CCJ, obviously, a big one, which I have a pretty good chunk of that. I've got UEC, I've got GEV. So I got some movers, but nothing like Graham going all in on Oklo and hitting that one, which is a big boy. Uh, Interested to see too some of these other pops like Coin and IBIT. I'm actually up like 30% on that IBIT spread already just from this morning, so that's nice. But
Nate, can you
yeah,
see me and hear me? I
yeah, you're back.
think my internet dropped out. I'm on my iPhone hotspot now.
Yeah, I didn't know if it was you frozen or me frozen.
Oh, I thought you
Uh,
were, and I was still talking. I said, nah, guys, Nate's frozen. Let's make fun of him. Mhm.
but yeah, you can carry on with your. I forget. I don't even remember where you were, to be honest with you.
You were telling me about a ticker that was up 22% today.
Oh, I said I do have UEC. I forgot I had UEC. I have UEC,
Oh,
which is also up pretty huge.
nice. Yeah.
But it got beaten down so bad that I'm still like break even on it or something
Yeah.
overall.
Yeah. Is that a minor?
I don't know. That's the one that Jeffrey told me to buy.
Exploration? Yeah. Yeah. Little minor. So anyways, good day for nuclear energy stocks. Uh, but just to reiterate the point, let's go back to the broad market. Yes, we're down. Yes, we had classic tariff news, scary headlines, but the markets are responding very, very strongly to it. So that's really good to see versus a flush out like we'd seen so painfully over the last few months. So I love that. Alrighty. Well, guys, earlier this week, if you guys were here on Tuesday, who was here on Tuesday? Who wasn't here on Tuesday? Yes or no question here.
Oh, you're gonna brag about this again?
I'm just gonna say you should show up on Tuesdays. That's all I'm gonna say. Actually, it's funny. There was one that I got totally wrong. Can't remember which one. Oh, I called a bounce here, I think, and then we had the Liberation Day. But I put a stop loss here, so that worked out good. But it's funny, Nate. It was like back in here, I was telling everyone we're gonna have a big pullback, and then went to all-time highs. I'm like, ah, crap. I looked like a big dummy, and then it happened. But I was a little late. This time, it happened to be pretty spot on with the cool off zone. So if you guys were here Tuesday, do the full market analysis, full market breakdown. We look under the hood at the market internals, look at the options market, see what it's telling us. Told you I expect this week to be a cool off zone. I wasn't buying puts. I was just lowering my position sizing. Do I wish I bought some puts? Maybe at this point, but I don't like to trade counter trend. Trending really high, really strong over the last few weeks. So I called the cool off zone, and now we're here. We're actually down right about here now. So that worked out pretty good if you guys were here on Tuesday. If you weren't, hopefully you show up next Tuesday. Actually, Nate, we got to figure out what we want to do with the schedule because Monday markets are closed, Memorial Day. Hope everyone has a awesome 3-day weekend this weekend. So Tuesday we'll either do just a week, come back from the weekend, check out the news, check out some stocks, do some trades, or we'll do the full analysis. But either way, guys, you want to show up every day this week because this is the kind of stuff that we cover.
Well, and now that we got this cool off too. I think Tuesday I'm gonna uh, look for a couple opportunities. Now that we did get a little bit of a cool off, so maybe we'll make it more of an active trading day after the long weekend, and just do more of the live trading on Tuesday. Just because
Yeah.
I've been waiting for a little bit of a cool off to jump into some more. Like I'm doing, obviously, $300 on VIX or a small IBIT spread this morning, but I might put a couple more aggressive trades um, on Tuesday, and so maybe we could just do that live and get into a
Yeah.
couple different opportunities.
And here's a little sneak peek of why I'm agreeing with you, Nate. Why I think we should get bullish again. It's because we saw this CPC, right, the put to call ratio, jump very, very bullish, extreme bullish levels where we said it's time for a cool off. That's what made me give this prediction. But look how quickly it snapped back. Versus historically, you've seen, like, this isn't a great example, but you've seen them ride down here in this low 0.75 range for a while, which doesn't really give you a great clear entry point. Versus right now, we're almost back to neutral, almost back to flat on the CPC, which in my opinion is a good time to be going in again.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a little sneak peek
Um.
there.
Oh, look at this! Look at
Oh, so
this!
beautiful.
What a jerk! No, I'm just kidding. That's awesome. Ground's been on fire. By the way, I know well, you might get to this a little bit later, but with Bitcoin, little bit of a red flush here. Oh, it's already only down 1%. Bitcoin's amazing.
Yeah,
But probably a good opportunity for some of your trades to get back in the mix, I assume, here with the little breathing room in Bitcoin.
yeah, it definitely is. Now the trade I gave out in opening playbook earlier this week is up 40%, 43% right now. So that's moving nice in our favor. The perfect Bitcoin trade also up 40%. Coinbase has a good little buying opportunity today on the flush out. We saw just how quickly that thing can move. It was pretty flat most of the week, and then yesterday ended up about 45% on the options trade there. So that one could be a good opportunity to get in here on this small move lower. Coinbase, yeah, down 2%, 2.5% today. With some, I mean, it's showing signs of bullishness as well. So we'll see if we get that catch up to continue through next week. But that's a good opportunity right now.
It's just interesting because 6 months ago, if the market was having a little bit of a flush and I was optimistic and I was looking like, hey, let me jump back in, I would look at the Qs or the mags to jump back in as like the thing that I would expect to bounce back the quickest. And now my first thought is, let me jump into some Bitcoin. Let me jump into some IBIT on a red day like this. I have the most confidence that it's going to be the thing that bounces back, which is just crazy how quickly that has happened.
Nate, did you give a VIX trade? We have got a question here in the chat.
I didn't give one. I mentioned that I grabbed some puts here. Let me tell you which ones I did. Let me see. It's already moved a decent bit, but I did May 28, 22 puts.
May 28.
$22 puts. And we're already almost down to 22. That was a full like 7% out of the money. We're now a lot less than
And do
that.
you just do that on ticker VXX?
I do it on VIX directly.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, I forgot they have those now.
They're weird expiration dates.
They are weird.
I think it's something to do with the CBOE, the way something about how they're clearing house or whatever. But I thought, the reason I liked it is it's a 4-day expiration. So it's like a shorter term. It's almost like trading a 0 DTE on the VIX with that weird, but it's like a 1 DTE. So of course you could trade literally the 0 DTE on VXX. You could trade today's, but I thought that was a little too aggressive.
Yeah, definitely. All right, I'm going to do one more bragging thing. Still going up. Love it. Love it. But
Nice,
now,
nice.
enough of the bragging, guys. I don't win all the time. I wish I could tell you I did. I'm going to give you guys 2 mistakes I feel like I made over the last couple of weeks and walk through you and why I think it was a mistake looking backwards. It's always important to look at your losing trades and do some analysis of what went wrong, what went, what did you see that you thought was a good opportunity? That may have been a good opportunity, may have worked out, but ultimately didn't, and we want to find out why. So, first one here, we took a trade on T-Mobile. I like T-Mobile. It's a great stock. You know that XLC is a great stock. I know some of you guys took this trade too. Put my own money in it like I always do. I lost money this week, so I'm bragging about Oklo all day. Well, I didn't win on every trade this week. That happened to be a huge outsized winner. for me. Still open, but let me go ahead and see. T-Mobile got to be down 61% for me. 375 bucks for me. So let me walk you through the trade, why I picked it, and then why I may avoid it something like this in the future. And I think this is a good learning experience for all of us as we continue to grow and try and just do better and better each and every day here. So T-Mobile, again, stock I really like. We cover the sector strength every single week on Tuesdays. XLC, which is the communication sector, has been one of the strongest sectors for a long time. And T-Mobile was the strongest stock or one of the strongest stocks in that sector for a long time. I mean, look at here, XLC, just go over the last couple of weeks. Really beautiful trend here. Really strong. And I said, T-Mobile, yes, it's in a downtrend, but we're getting a bounce off the 200-day moving average. I expect it to get back up to this upper peak of this trend line. And I was pretty much right. I mean, it did almost get there. However, I feel like the mistake that I made was we don't want to trade stocks that really look like this. Yes, I was trading a dead cat bounce. I was trading that, hey, this is a good stock. It should bounce from here. And while that analysis may have been right and we maybe could have won this trade, this is just a level that decreases our conviction or our accuracy rates or opportunity. We want to trade stocks that are trending higher, right? I tell you guys that all the time. Avoid stocks that are breaking down or trending lower. So that was my mistake, I feel like, with T-Mobile this week. So learning experience there. I'm going to try and eliminate stuff like this in the future. I don't want to trade things that I literally drew a downtrend line, hoping that it gets back up to that trend line. It got close, but we really want to trade stocks that are breaking out, the strong stocks that are moving higher. So that's number one mistake of the week, or I don't know if we gave it 2 weeks ago or last week, but I just want to show you guys that we're trying to refine this and make it better and better, trying to avoid lower conviction opportunities like T-Mobile may have been there. Another one, and this one could still work out too. Again, the lesson is don't break your own rules. I like to trade the strongest stocks and the strongest sectors. Let me ask you guys a question here. I like Lilly stock. I like it for the long haul. I think
I was
they've
just
got
about
a
to
great.
jump in. I was just about to jump in and say I'll share one of mine too. It was going to be on Lilly. That's
That's
funny,
funny. Yeah,
but I'll let
so
you go.
let me ask you guys a question. For those of you who have been paying attention, showing up every day, doing the work, has healthcare, XLV, been one of the sectors that we've loved? Anyone? Has it been at the top of my list at all over the last few weeks or months? Now, again, I could have been right here. All right. What I saw was that this momentum here got to a very overextended level to the downside, right? And I said every time that's happened before, it ends up snapping back, right? So that was my analysis. I don't think that was poor analysis, but it was poor application of it because, again, I always tell you guys, don't pick a stock that's in a weak sector. Pick the strongest sectors and the strongest stocks in that sector. I went with Lilly here, which first off has been chugging sideways, but the sector itself wasn't moving higher. So it just, again, wasn't a high conviction opportunity. I took this trade with my own money. I'm down on this trade. But again, I just want to show you guys why this is something that I would want to avoid in the future. Again, I broke my own rules. Shame on me. Not great. Not. I don't love it. Don't love that I did that. But hey, we're all traders. We all have our good days, our bad days, and ultimately, overall, let me just put a screenshot up here. I think I took some profits yesterday on some positions, but hopefully you guys can agree that hopefully the good has been outweighing the bad here. Here's just a screenshot of my open positions right now. I took profits on Microsoft, the 350% winner, so you won't see that there. But overall, guys, I hope you guys are having fun. Hope you're making money. Ultimately, I would love for all of these to be winners every single time. That's not going to happen. So I'm really happy, guys, with the 7 out of 9 trades being up right here that I currently have open for us. But again, there are days that are going to lose. There are good times and bad times. And then there's learning lessons along the way. So I hope that me opening up and sharing with you guys the mistakes I made or the incorrect analysis that I did helps you guys see and maybe avoid that same pain and mistake in the future. So again, lesson number 1, yes, the sector was strong on T-Mobile, but the trend wasn't good. The stock wasn't strong. It's just not high conviction, not a high conviction opportunity.
Yeah,
Lesson
dude.
number 2 here.
I'm
Yeah.
sorry. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Lesson number 2 is that again, pick the good sectors first. So Lilly was not in a good sector. We shouldn't really have been even looking at that stock at all. Now, do I love it for the long term? Yes, I love it for the long term. But for the short term swing trading, again, we want those high momentum stocks. So stocks breaking out like Oklo, WPM has been an awesome one. PM, which is just a boring stock, a boring staple stock, been awesome for us. But very strong stocks, strong sectors. All of those line up exactly how we want them to be. And look, they happen to work out. Imagine the magic in that.
It's funny you mentioned, I did the exact same thing. So, last week when Lily was, where was it? Like 740, I thought we're right kind of near the bottom of this range. We could either get a bounce up or we could break down. Either way, it's probably going to move. And I put a two-way option on Lily. Perfect trade, right? It did exactly what I hoped. It moved like $30. Like actually more than that. Moved like $35. Well, then after it bounced, I decided to get cute and say, well, maybe I'll do an income trade. Now that it has moved down, maybe I'll do an income trade on it. I was like 7 for 7 on income machine trades. Said, oh, well, it's beaten down. I'll do that. Grab the income machine trade. Meanwhile, it's rated like a 1 out of 5 on the income machine. Thought, who cares? I didn't build this tool to give me good ideas. Overrode it. Did an income trade. Literally burned the profits I made on the two-way trade by trying to get too cute and doing an additional income trade on a bad stock that's nothing like I would ever trade because I thought, oh, it's so, and it's just like everything that I believe in is like not making gut decisions based on what a chart looks like. And there I go thinking, oh, let me, I'm on a hot streak. Let me get fancy. So it's amazing how easy it is, even when you're me and you talk all day about like using mechanical strategies and, not being like a trust your gut kind of trader, how easy it is to fall into that trap. Honestly, for me, especially when you're running hot, if you're winning a lot and you've got like, you feel like you've got some house money in your account, I think that's when I'm like, I get like a little more reckless sometimes and start throwing money around at other ideas that aren't as solid. And so you just got to be so careful with that. One thing I think that is important to mention is that every losing trade does not mean you made a mistake. There are many good losing trades.
Mhm.
Like a lot of times people
I'm
ask
actually
me,
going to show one next.
yeah, because like a lot of people ask me like, hey Nate, what happened with the overnight option trade? What did we do wrong? And be like, nothing. The market gapped down 2%, never recovered. Like that's we got in the right level. We set up a risk reward. Nothing wrong there. Versus an overnight option trade where it's 355, the market has moved up $3, and now you're chasing it and paying way too much for a trade to get in because you don't want to miss it. And the market has a normal day where the initial trade would have won, but you chasing the trade turns into a loser. That's a mistake. So like you have to really separate the difference between mistakes and losing trades because they're definitely not the same.
Yeah, no, and I completely agree. And to your point, what I'm trying to show there was that by avoiding those actual mistakes where they break my own rules, we can cut out some of those losers. Now, there's still going to be winners and losers regardless, but we just want to limit those losses. So let me talk about a loser this week that I've gotten some questions about here in the chat. And while I don't think it's a mistake, it just didn't work out. But that's okay because I know that by sticking to the rules, sticking to the plan over time, I produce about a 70% win rate. So one of my trades this week, perfect income, was on Progressive. Let me pull up a chart of Progressive right here. Everyone's familiar with Progressive by now. I always talk about it. It's my biggest stock holding. I've got more in Progressive than I do in the NASDAQ or S&P 500. I love this stock. It's a beast. Good. I mean, obviously, amazing trend, right? Look at this trend. We had a momentum flip positive earlier this week on Newton. See that there? Good analysis there. The sector it's in, financials, again, also in a strong trend. It had positive momentum. And look at this. It was one of the top sectors in the S&P 500. XLF right there. Circled it this week for you. I liked XLF. And in this case, I don't think this was a bad trade. It just happened to go against us, which does like that's the risk we play with trading. I mean, if you guys come in here thinking we're going to win every single trade, I'm just going to tell you right now, we're not. We're not going to win every trade. We want to find the ones that have the highest likelihood of breaking out and going higher. In this case, Progressive sold off this week, went against me. I'm going to take a full loss on it, which is unfortunate. I don't love, but that's just par for the course when it comes to trading. Analysis was good. Sector was good. Relative strength of the stock was good. It just didn't work out this week. And that's okay with me because I know looking at my own track record, charting my own trades, following my journal, that sticking to these kind of rules over time has really, really stacked up. As a matter of fact, I'll just show you guys how well this strategy has stacked up. And it's not to boast about the strategy or anything, but here's the perfect income trade, which you can see here. Uh, and the win rate fell a little bit in this recent drop. But guys, look, account growth. This is since, let me just see, since October of 2023. So what is that, about a year and a half? Is that right? About a year and a
Yeah.
half. Account growth is up 2,700%.
It's not bad.
It's my best one for account growth records overall, just by sticking to the rules. Oops, there went my screen. Sticking to the rules, sticking to the plan, knowing that there's going to be winners and losers. I don't know why my screen keeps going away. Knowing that there's going to be winners and losers, like Progressive this week was a loser, but over time the odds stack up. They're in our favor, and you can just see what it looks like sticking to the plan there. So hopefully that answers some of your questions here about Progressive. Why is it down this week? I couldn't tell you why it's down. Stocks go up or down. We did the analysis, right sector. Everything was spot on. It just happened to be one of those that go against us.
Yeah. All right. Well, let me. Oh, you got more? Oh, wow. You're rolling. You got more?
No, you go. You go.
Okay. I was gonna say.
Finish this up.
I just want to give a couple trades that I like for the next week. So the first one here, folks. Let's see. Is not a blank screen. Here we go. See that? First one I like is XLF. Got a little beaten down here and has been super strong. Graham talked about trading strong sectors. XLF, if you look here on the weekly, really, 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 really strong, and then just kind of filled this gap with this last couple day flush. I like it for a bounce back. It never cracked all-time highs. I actually think XLF will hit all-time highs if the SPY hits all-time highs. I think they they'll go hand in hand there. And so down about 0.8% today, flushed a little bit yesterday. I like this as a bounce back trade, and you can get a pretty nice risk reward on this just by doing one of our kind of classic debit spread trades. So you go to the May 30th. That's 1 week from today. Basically, giving it 7 days to pop. Oh, what would that be? About 0.4% by doing the 49.50. So 49.50 here costs about 68 cents. So you can make 50, 60, 70% potentially, depending on what you get filled out here by XLF popping 0.25 or 0.2% over the next 7 days, which I like. I like the bounce back here on XLF. So let me pop that one in. That's one that I like. XLF buy to open the May 30. And by the way, after we do this, I'm going to see if I can get Graham to talk about the perfect Bitcoin one more time because I think he was kind of calling yesterday the last chance for people to hear about it. And then I texted him today and said, hey, with Bitcoin flushing, it's like everyone who missed out kind of has another chance to get it. So I'm going to try to get him to do that for you guys one more time, even though I'm using up his Friday. But I just figure we might be in a situation, folks, legitimately, where a week from now, like we're so far removed from where Bitcoin is right now and the same opportunities because it could squeeze that quickly. So for me, it's just a matter of timing that I think. If you haven't heard yet about the perfect Bitcoin thing, we should do it one more time. But we can talk about that in a minute. For now, here's your XLF trade. Well, give me a yes in the chat if you think Graham should give everyone one more crack. Just shout out for Graham. Convince him. Convince him. Listen, like I said, we're gonna be in this situation maybe for a couple weeks, and then if people miss it, then it's like we could be talking. Hey, Bitcoin's 130K now. I wish everyone jumped on. So anyway, that's my shameless plug for Graham.
It's funny,
to
actually,
do one more time.
Now my losses, let me go back to bragging, which I'm just naturally really great at. If I can take the screen.
Oh, you're
Nate posted that. Nate posted that XLF trade there in the chat if you guys want to take it. All right, here's back to bragging. Now that I've shown you guys some losers and that I'm not a perfect human being, which you guys never thought to begin with, so it's all good. This was Tuesday's analysis. IBIT right there was at 60. It's up about 3-4% from just even Tuesday, guys. That's a stock or the ETF there, the ticker. You can type it in IBIT. That's the one if you're looking to trade this upswing in Bitcoin right now. Easiest way to get invested, no different than buying SPY or QQQ or any other stock. So again, you can see the price here on Tuesday was $60. It's at 62.40 right now. Moving higher. I think it's got a ways to go. Let me just do the math and tell you where my profit targets would be set. 125 on Bitcoin. So we have to use the price of Bitcoin as a proxy for IBIT. So that's 11% move from here would be my first one. 11% move is my first one, and 36% move is my second one. So if you're looking at IBIT, let me just do the math for you. 111 times 62, 42. First profit target's at $69 on IBIT. Everyone writing this down? $69 is our first profit target on IBIT. Second profit target's at 84. Let me write this in here. IBIT, profit target number one at, what did I say, 69? Profit target number two at, I'm just going to round up to 85. That's what I like for IBIT if you're holding the underlying stock. Of course, if you're trading the options, whole different ball game. A lot of cool upside. Again, we're up nicely on the options right now, 43%. Pretty sweet. What was I going to say next, Nate? What was I going to say next?
I don't know, but I got one more trade if you
Had
want to think
something.
about what you're going to say next.
Yep.
All right, here we
You
go.
take the screen.
One more trade. So this is on MAGS, MAGS. I've been talking a lot about MAGS. I think they have the best chance to lead us to all-time highs. Meanwhile, they are way behind all-time highs right now, mainly because our dear friend Apple is just getting rocked right now, down another 2.3%. And MAGS flushed down about 1.25%. It was down a little bit more. So for me, this is a little bit of a discount opportunity because I wasn't sure it was going to come back down at all. We have this big, massive zone, like kind of this no man's land on the mags that we broke above. I think that we have a really good shot at staying above 50. Like I think that this 50 level is pretty strong. So there's two different trades that you can make here. One super conservative, one super aggressive. So the super conservative trade is to use that $50 level on MAGS as an income trade. All right, so you go like 7 days or maybe 14 days out, and you could trade something like a 48.50 and pay $1.50 to $1.60. That's going to get you like a 25 to 30% return as long as the mags stay above this box. I think that's a pretty high quality trade, pretty high. That would kind of be like more of an income machine style trade, giving yourself some room while still making 20+%. So that's one trade. I'll type that in. Like this would be the mags. I'll call this mags income machine. This would be buy to open the June 6 48 call, sell to open the June 6 50 call, pay right around $1.55. And again, that's going to be like a 30% return on what I think is a fairly safe trade here with the mags. I mean, no such thing as a safe trade, but I think that level is really strong and is kind of a nice income opportunity on the Mag 7. If Apple just kind of balances back out and we get a couple of other stocks, and NVIDIA hits earnings, like there's lots of different ways that could get up there and be in really good shape. Now, the more aggressive trade is to basically look for mags to kind of keep ripping, use this as a reset and keep ripping and get up above 55 in the next couple of weeks. So that's the super aggressive version of the trade. You're looking basically for a 10% move in the Mag 7. What I would do for that one is I would give it 3 weeks. So I'd give it a little extra time. And I'd go all the way up here and trade this like 50, do like a 52 to 55, something like that. Just give yourself a little more meat on the bone with that wider spread. And what you're doing there is you're saying, listen, in 3 weeks, we need this thing to rip almost 10% above 55. This is a much more aggressive trade, what we would call a jump trade. So let me give you that one as well. And that would be more like a 300% type of winner. So mags jump trade. We would buy to open the June 13 here. And by the way, you could do this with a $1 spread if you want to make it cheaper. I just widen it out just to give us a little more uh, value for the trade itself, less commission, that sort of thing. And for this one, you would pay about 90 cents and you'd have, 250 to 300%, depending on exactly what you got in there. So that's Mag's jump trade and Mag's income machine. Two different ways to trade what I think is probably the strongest of those concentrated assets right now. That, obviously, I think Bitcoin's probably the strongest, but I think if we're going to get a continuation, if we're going to shake off some Trump news and things like that, and really rip this market to all-time highs, which I think is the highest likelihood right now. I think, regardless of economy and a lot of other things, this market is going to want to squeeze to all-time highs, and then we could see a much bigger, stronger flush after that. And if that happens, it's very hard for me to believe that the Mag 7 is not going to help lead the way in that. Even if Apple stays weak and it's NVIDIA and Tesla driving it, even if they stay fairly weak, but Microsoft makes another big AI deal and they lead the charge as a $3 trillion company. I think one way or the other, some of those mega caps are going to have to lead the way for us to make what I think is a very likely move back to all-time highs. And so I'm very aggressive on the Mag 7 right now. And this is one way not to have to pick your horse. You don't have to pick NVIDIA. You don't have to pick Apple. You don't have to pick Tesla. You can trade them as a set of 7 stocks through that ticker. So 2 plays there, get you started. If we have a really good long weekend, you could be off to a big head start on those trades. If not, because obviously kind of a coin flip on a long weekend like this with news, then you still got a couple of weeks for them to bounce back, which this market has done a really good job of.
Awesome. I love it. I remember what I was going to say, Nate. So, good question here. Is that a typo?
Oh, shoot, didn't fix the second one. Sorry, guys. This is me typing and trading at the same time. Not supposed to be a diagonal. There we go. Sorry. I kept my old expiration date.
You guys are the best though. People are so on top of it here. They're able to
Sorry
pick
that you
off
have to be on top of it.
incredible rate. And, yeah, you guys are awesome. Here's what I was going to say, and it's not educational at all or anything. Question for you guys. We do a lot of trades in here. We do a lot of content. And I know I opened up my email address for you guys to email me if you want to email me directly. It's grahamtradestocks@gmail.com. I figured that'd be an easy one to remember. I'll just post it in here.
I'm going to send you some hate mail right now.
Yeah, please do sign me up for a lot of different e-letters. I've gotten a lot of emails basically saying, hey, we do a lot of trades. We cover a lot of different strategies. Sometimes we build you guys codes, indicators, give it away for free. We do it all for free. And we want to keep it that way. That's our plan, to keep it for free forever. But it's a lot to manage when we're just throwing stuff in the chat, throwing links in the chat, saying, here's a trade, here's a trade. So Nate and I have been talking about getting it all together in one place, in one members portal where you guys can all access it. So I just have a Google Doc where I just post in every trade alert we give, so that you can just go back and reference that really easy versus having to manage it all on your own and try and copy and paste in your own doc. Same would go for when I give you a code for like a stock fetcher sector scan. I would post that in there too, so you can always go back and reference it. Same for our Google slides here that we show. I do my whole analysis on Tuesday. And a lot of times people are asking for the slideshow to review. I send you the link, but again, it's hard for you to track on your own. So what we want to do is put it all in one place in our one-click members portal, where you guys get all the trades we've done, all the trainings we've done, recordings, materials,
Couple
codes,
calculators
everything.
I want to build for people in there too.
Calculators. The problem is we're not allowed to post it in the one-click trade portal unless it's a paid membership. And we don't want it to be a paid membership. We want this to be free for everyone. So the way we are going to get around it is the show's still going to be free for everyone. But if you want everything all tracked together, all in one place, it's going to be $1. And I'm going to ask you guys, it's $1 one-time payment, lifetime price. There's no tricks here. We had to charge some dollar amount to get into the members portal to allow them in there.
I'm pretty sure we're losing money on the credit card fees to charge $1 to give people access. But like legally, we literally are not, they call it a transactional email. We're not literally legally allowed to do transactional alert emails unless it's a paid subscription. And so in this case, it'd be a $1 one-time lifetime subscription. And then we'll have a members area where we can load up all that stuff. So that was kind of our idea.
So hopefully you guys are okay with the dollar. If you guys are okay with the dollar for a lifetime price, put a yes in the chat. If you're not, put a no.
Well, and you don't have to do. I mean, you could still attend every day
For
if you
sure. It's
don't.
still gonna
You
be
just
free.
won't get the members area and the transactional updates and stuff.
Right, and you won't get the whole point is I just want everything to be easy access for you guys where you can people are asking all the time, can you send me Tuesday's trade? And it's like, oh man, now I got to go back to Tuesday and look what I gave you guys versus just having it in the Google Doc where you guys can access it. Same for training, slide decks, master classes, all that stuff. So that's our loophole there. Just wanted to let you guys know we're gonna try and set that up sometime next week so you guys can have a members portal for this opening playbook session, which is free, which will continue to be free. But that way you can have everything all in one place. So I'm just giving you guys a heads up. Again, if you want it to stay free and you know a dollar's too much for you, I'll still post the starting now links in Telegram. You just
Yeah,
won't have
you'll still be able to
you
get
won't
in
have
whether you pay the dollar or not.
right, but you just my point. I just want everything easy access for you guys all in one place, so you don't have to track everything, all these links on your own.
Oh, dude, I have another big announcement too, but I'll wait. I won't make it today. I'm just
Wow,
I'm
the
just posting.
suspense.
Oh, dang, I tried to post all like 500 of them, but it cut me off on chat.
Yeah, there's only 5 people. No, I'm just kidding. There's probably
Dang
about
it.
every
I was going to
single
post like
person.
all several
We have
hundred of the
one person
yeses.
says they'll pay, Ken says he'll pay $2.
Oh, $2. We should do a live auction.
Jim, $10. All right.
We should do a live auction or maybe a tip jar. Pay what you want.
Yeah,
Man, there's-
tip jar. Hey, Trump says no tax on tips. So
Oh, there you go. We got to get creative with this.
yeah,
Dude, we should totally do a tip jar. I want to hijack your idea and that would be so funny. Okay,
That's
anyway.
hilarious.
No, the other big announcement is related to the software. Graham, I tested out a new software today that we could potentially host the opening playbook room in and do
Cool.
more cool stuff and make it easier to access, not have to download Zoom, update Zoom, and that sort of stuff. So I'll give you more details on that, but I think that'll be a big win too for people.
Cool. Yeah, that sounds sweet. All right, cool. Well, let me go ahead and steal this screen here again. So, real quick, let me do it one more time. I've done it every day this week, so I might as well keep beating
Hey.
the dead horse while it's down. Bitcoin, mega hot, right? We all know it hit all-time highs. If you've been attending the show, hopefully you have. Back when it dipped to like the 80s, got down to 77K, dipped around the 80s, and we said, holy smokes, guys. Yes, Bitcoin is down from the recent highs, but the markets are taking a way worse beating than Bitcoin. This shouldn't be happening. Something's going on with Bitcoin. It's super strong, super crazy to see what's going on. We're buying Bitcoin. So we've been talking about it week after week after week after week. And of course, if you've been on the opening playbook, I've highlighted it every single week for multiple weeks now. So hopefully you guys have made some money on that. But I just want to show you something cool here that I shared in the roundtable yesterday. This orange line here is global money supply. This blue line here is Bitcoin's price. Do you guys notice any sort of pattern here? Looking at this, when the global money supply goes up, Bitcoin's price goes up. Global money supply goes up, price goes up. Money supply drops, price drops. Goes up, drops, drops. Now here's where it gets even cooler. And this screenshot was taken back in March. If you take the global M2 liquidity and just push it forward 3 months on a chart, that's what this is. This green line here is the global M2 liquidity, just fast forwarded 3 months. So basically, this is really the March number, but they just parked it here in June. So you could shift the whole thing back. That would be real time. We're shifting it forward. Look at this correlation.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Is that not just amazing?
Well, and obviously Bitcoin has already done the deed. It's already.
So yeah, let me draw a line where we are now. So here's March, April, May. Here is Bitcoin now.
Yep. It is interesting. Previously, I know we're not talking about actual one-to-one with like values peg, but that it doesn't seem to exceed that value. Does that make you nervous at all that like historically on that 3, it doesn't seem like Bitcoin tends to exceed the tops of the money supply?
No, I wouldn't think so. And I don't think they're too scared. It's not like a 1-to-1 ratio here.
Yeah, that's the thing. There's not really actually pegged value ratio, so it's hard to know
Right.
if there's anything to
squeezed
draw from
a
that.
little bit. Right. but it's just interesting to see. So this screenshot was taken back in March saying, "Uh-oh, money supply is ticking up. Bitcoin's going to follow soon." And it's really spot on the money. So here's June, here's March. So we're right about here where money supply, said that Bitcoin was going higher. We're at all-time highs now.
Yeah.
Wild.
Grant, did you explain to people about the $1 thing that we still have to get the team to build it, or are people waiting for a link right now?
Oh, the link's not ready, guys. We're gonna put it together. I sent them all of the information
Okay.
this morning. I sent them all of the docs that we want to have, the codes. Nate, you got to put yours in there if you haven't yet.
Yeah, I have a couple, but I think maybe some people are sitting there waiting. Like, wow, you're keeping us in suspense. Like,
Oh
drop the
no, no,
$1
no.
link. We
It'll
just
be
have to get
next
it
week,
built.
guys. We'll post it
We
next
got
week.
it
I'll post it in Telegram. Again, you don't have to pay if you don't
right.
want to, but this is
Correct.
just gonna keep everything in one central location for you guys for $1
Yeah.
for life.
And then anytime, we do a dream portfolio or we come out with an idea or
Oh,
something, we
we got to
have
put that
somewhere
down.
to put it going forward.
I actually need to let me find this. I'm gonna do that right now. Here you go. You guys can see what all's going in there. Where would I put that? I'll put it under trades. Let me just do so you guys can see what all's going in there. I'll put it under the resources.
Yeah.
Dream portfolio.
So for all
So
you
it won't
asking,
look
okay,
like
how do I
this.
get
It'll look much prettier than this.
Oh, yeah, it'll look nicer. But for everyone asking, okay, how do I pay the $1? We the team has to actually build what they call an order form. The page that like takes the $1, or what I'm about to turn into the tip jar, and then that'll give you instant access to that one-click members area portal. So we're working on that. It was kind of our workaround, like Ram said, to get you in one place. And it might end up being super cool and really valuable. Well, it'll definitely be really valuable, but might end up being like a core thing that people actually love. And it's not just a workaround to get access, but it's like, a high performing service, which would be kind of fun.
Yeah. And again, it's free, and this is as close to free as we can do to put it all in one place. So hope you guys are happy with that news. Now, again, that'll be ready next week. So don't worry, there's nothing, you're not missing anything right now. We're putting it together. You'll see it sometime next week. It's not going to be something where it's like you get one day to join and then we shut it down. It'll be open forever for that dollar VIP price. So don't sweat it. You guys will get it.
Well, I don't know. We might raise it from $1 to $2, like Ken said. We might really.
I don't know. Yeah, inflation. Yeah.
Right now, the point is not to make money on. Like I said, I'm pretty sure we're losing money by the time we pay the credit card transaction fee. So
yeah. So the goal is not to make money. It's just to work around loopholes so we can get it done. So that'll be coming next week. But again, this is what's happening right now. We saw it with the money supply. You fast forward it 3 months on a chart. You just scoot it 3 months, called it perfectly. Again, here's our Bitcoin price. I just drew up the straight line because it practically has been a straight line to all-time highs, following right along with that. And I don't think we're stopping here. And I'll show you guys exactly why here. I want to talk about the perfect Bitcoin trade. Again, if you guys were here earlier this week or even over the last few weeks, we've been trading IBIT a lot together. I hope you guys have made some money on it because we sure have, or, I have. And if you've been following along, you should be 100%, 150%, some sweet gains in there over and over again. So I'm going to talk about it here real quick and then give you guys an opportunity to jump in on what could be our next entry. Maybe today, we'll see. It may be Monday, depending on Bitcoin's price action. So the perfect Bitcoin trade is a little known method that's shown the power to turn small $1,000 investments, or you can start with $100. This is just, for example, $1,000 investments to maybe $2,400, $3,200, even $3,400 from every 1% move in the price of Bitcoin, which means we oftentimes don't need that big of a move to get these huge returns. And we get to trade it from a regular brokerage account via ticker IBIT, which is the same as SPY or QQQ or GLD, right? SPY tracks S&P, QQQ tracks NASDAQ, GLD tracks gold, but IBIT tracks Bitcoin. For example, like the opportunity that hit going into the new year, while the S&P, Dow, and NASDAQ were all topped out, Bitcoin jumped just north of 1%, which isn't a bad move. But anyone following along with the perfect Bitcoin trade, when I sent out the alert to folks just like you, could have seen a 137% gain on the options. Much better, right? Enough to have turned $1,000 into $2,375 from a single trade. Then the next one that hit was right here, January 13th. While Bitcoin nudged higher to finish the month, folks trading Bitcoin could have earned 5% on the underlying asset. But again, anyone following along with the perfect Bitcoin trade, when I sent out this alert in real time to members, could have had 284% gain on this move in about 2 weeks' time. So $1,000 invested into Bitcoin the normal way would have paid $73. That could buy you 73 opening playbook subscriptions right there. But that same $1,000 stake in the perfect Bitcoin trade with the options would have paid $2,846 in profit. And keep in mind, that was a real trade sent out in real time to folks just like you, just like every example I'll share with you today. There's no back test, nothing like that in here. So had you started with 5K in that one, you obviously would have had a huge, huge gain sitting in your account by the end of the trade. Now, I've been trading Bitcoin for nearly a full decade now, and my first Bitcoin purchase was back when it was trading for less than $2,000 a pop. But it wasn't until recently that I came out and made my biggest Bitcoin prediction ever. At the beginning of last year, I made another bold prediction in front of nearly 1,000 people, calling for Bitcoin to go from 40,000 to 100,000 by Christmas time. And I didn't just talk about it, I backed it up by investing $250,000 of my own hard-earned money in ticker IBIT, that one that you can access from any regular brokerage account. And what came next? Bitcoin surged well past 100K by Christmas. And that left me with an awesome, awesome result there. You can see the screenshot in open profits by the end of the year. Now, as great as my track record is at predicting the long-term moves on Bitcoin, I think you'll agree that my performance of swing trading it for big, fast gains may be even better, and you guys have gotten a taste of that here in this room. My flagship perfect Bitcoin trade boasts an epic 81% win rate on nearly 2 years of public live trading. And that includes an outstanding 3.64 profit factor on the published trade alerts. And I'm humbled every time I hear from my students and the outstanding results they're seeing. Robinson made $5,360 on the Bitcoin trade this morning. Now, he said ticker BITO because that's what we used to trade before the ETF came out. Now it's just IBIT, super easy. Richie up 400% in 7 days. Rochelle, $17,500. Jennifer made $37,000 following my work during the most recent drop, actually. And David A., he bought in when I made that first prediction when Bitcoin was at 40K. He actually made over $350,000 on it. This was his first update. He was up $100,000. He then emailed later saying he was up $350,000 on it. So David crushed it. He was at the emergency roundtable yesterday. Always good to hear from him. And today, I'm hoping to get your name up on the board next, hopefully with the big winning trade alert coming this very week, because I believe we're on the brink of the next leg up in this current Bitcoin super cycle. So in just a few minutes, I'm going to share with you the all-new method to take advantage of it all. It's an eye-opening opportunity that I believe will take my current track record to new heights that we could have never imagined before. But before we dive into the details of the strategy, how I like to trade Bitcoin, let me tell you why I love Bitcoin right now. You see, in today's world, most stocks are news driven. What happened today? Trump posted his Truth Social post. Markets tanked. That was news driven move. Now, a lot of the stock's biggest moves typically come from earnings reports, new tech releases, C-suite changes, buyouts, mergers, you name it. And unless you're on the board of a Fortune 500 company, or if you know someone who is, you'll probably always miss out on the big stock moving events. By the time you and I catch wind of a move, a lot of times it's too late to benefit. And it's this news-driven environment that can make it pretty difficult to gain an edge in today's volatile stock market. I think we've all seen that firsthand really since March when the tariffs started coming out and jolting the stock market all around. But here's what's really cool. Bitcoin doesn't have earnings. They don't have a CEO. There's no board of directors for Bitcoin. It's not weighed down by what new technologies on the horizon or revenue projections. As I'll show you today, Bitcoin trades nothing like stocks. And because of a unique trading phenomenon inside of Bitcoin, we're able to hone in on some of the most profitable opportunities on ticker IBIT, again, from any regular brokerage account. Now, I'm talking about a repeatable phenomenon that has given us a chance to turn small $1,000 investments into as much as $2,186, $2,500 overnight, or even $3,846. And again, all real-time trade alerts that I publish in real time to people just like you. And we get to trade it right from a regular brokerage account, trading the Bitcoin ETF that everyone has easy access to. No different than trading SPY or QQQ, Apple, Amazon, Nvidia, or Netflix. And the other thing, you don't have to be married to it. Just because you're trading it doesn't mean you have to be in love with it for the long run. You could hate Bitcoin, but still make some good trades here on the options. Now, there's a reason I call it the perfect Bitcoin trade because it's the only method I know that has been able to not just beat the S&P and NASDAQ, but even outpace the returns of top stocks like Apple, Amazon, Meta, Google, Nvidia, you name it, in just a fraction of the time. For example, let's take a look at what happened back in April. Now, at the time, I'm sure nobody wanted to be holding Bitcoin. It had plummeted just north of 10% over that past month, right? We saw that big drop in the markets. Bitcoin actually held up really, really strong. Like I told you, that's why we said buy, buy, buy. But in this case, down 10%. And the news was all over it, right? Here we have Finance magazine posting its worst quarter in 7 years. Yahoo Finance says that Trump's promises are no longer enough. Economic Times says Bitcoin's going lower. But with this strategy, it doesn't matter what the sentiment is around Bitcoin, whether it's an uptrend or downtrend. I really couldn't care less. Because on April 21st, thanks to a unique phenomenon in Bitcoin that I'll show you here in just a second, my indicators caught us a buy signal. You can see it right there. And sure enough, Bitcoin shot up over the next few days. And anyone who took the trade with me when I sent the alert out to members in real time could have captured 193% in 21 days on the basic call options right there. Now, 193% in under a month. Let's put that in perspective, right? That's more than triple the return that you would have seen had you bought Apple 4 years ago. So 4 years of buy and hold, not even close to what we did in 3 weeks. It's 8 times better than if you bought Amazon 4 years ago. Not even close. So folks could have out-earned 4 years of returns on those top stocks and done it in just a matter of days. Could have been like watching $2,500 turn into $7,000 before the next paycheck hit. And you don't have to put that much in. Maybe you put $250 in and watch it turn into $733. Nothing wrong with that. And we get multiple of these types of opportunities each and every month. Normally about 2 to 3 on average. Now, obviously, there's going to be some months with more opportunities that come our way, like this month with Bitcoin going absolutely parabolic. We've had a lot of opportunities. In other months, there's less. But there's one thing that doesn't change. We're always targeting outsized returns on Bitcoin with the perfect Bitcoin trade. For example, let's take a look at what happened in October. On the 14th, this phenomenon repeated. I'll show you it here in just a second. It's really, really cool. And we caught our next buy signal. There you can see it on the chart. So I sent out the new trade entry to the perfect Bitcoin members like I always do. Sure enough, Bitcoin went on a nice rally over the next 2 weeks, gaining a little over 10% on the underlying. But with the perfect Bitcoin trade, you would have done much, much better. 118% in about 2 weeks on the options, more than a double. Then a few days later, October 21st, you would have seen the indicators align again for our next buy signal. Of course, as always, I sent out the trade alert right away, stock and options criteria included. And again, had you entered when my indicators confirmed the entry, you could have grabbed 117% in just 4 days here. Pretty awesome. And then guys, again, no special brokerage account, no Coinbase account. Don't worry about risky crypto, guys. It's just from any regular brokerage account, normal options like we would trade here on any other ticker. Now that's 2 triple-digit winners in a row. And while my results were great, Ron H., one of my members, did even better. He made over 200% on each of them. Pretty awesome, Ron. Now, of course, I want to remind you that there's going to be big winners, small winners, and losers along the way. That's why my team and I work tirelessly to optimize the strategy the best we could. And I'm happy to report that so far from our live trading, the perfect Bitcoin trade has hit with an incredible 81% win rate on the real-time trades, which is in line with what some of my top students have said about my work. Here's some of the best stories. Diana had a couple trades with me, no losers, all 100% winners. Dave S. had a couple two-digit winners, a couple three-digit winners, all winners for Dave. Now, you guys know not every trade's going to win, but when we're winning 81% of the time, there's a lot of good that can come. KJ hit 100% plus 3 times in a row. You see, Bitcoin doesn't trade like normal stocks. Stocks have earnings announcements, they pay dividends, and investors are always looking to project future growth 10, even 20 years from now. And that's why you'll see lofty valuations on a lot of stocks. But with Bitcoin, it's a totally different story. Unlike stocks, Bitcoin is a store of value. So it trades completely different than stocks. So if you're looking at the stock market and you're trying to compare Nvidia to Bitcoin, that's apples and oranges. You see, Bitcoin trades on price appreciation, similar to how gold or other hard assets would trade. But it's not like Bitcoin just goes straight up into the right every single day, right? There's periods of choppiness, there's downtrends, and there's massive surges that seem to come out of the blue. But based on my research and real money trades, I've noticed that the biggest moves typically come from a little known phenomenon that I bet most people have never heard of before. I call it a liquidity vacuum. It's the name I gave for it. It's a big, fun, fancy name. But simply put, these are the handful of times each month where Wall Street is forced to buy Bitcoin at a rapid pace, sending it skyward. I'm talking about hedge funds, market makers, even companies like BlackRock. They're forced to buy at Bitcoin right under our nose. And when we've been able to spot these liquidity vacuums forming in real time, we've been able to front run some of the most aggressive buying patterns on Bitcoin for quick hitting winners. For example, let's look at some of the recent trades we took. $3,200 here in November based on a $2,500 starting stake there. Now, of course, you can start with $100. Go from there, grow your account. But this is just based on $2,500. $3,437 in January, $3,750 in February. Now, from what I've seen, this liquidity vacuum phenomenon can repeat about 2 to 3 times per month. And as I've shown you, they're very reliable. We're winning about 81% of the time. But let me break it down for you so you can see for yourself why they're so powerful. You see, even with the parabolic rise in Bitcoin over the last decade, Bitcoin is still one of the most shorted assets out there, meaning people are betting against it. It's kind of like Tesla. Tesla's a very shorted asset, but when it pops, it goes crazy. In other words, there's still tons of money betting against Bitcoin, betting that it will fall. But here's what's really important about that. If Bitcoin does fall, short sellers can make money on the way down. That's what they're going for, right? However, here's a little caveat, a little phenomenon. If the buyers step in, Bitcoin goes against the short sellers, right? It's gaining steam, it's going up. Well, what happens? The short sellers hit their stop losses. And when you're short, the way you exit a trade is you buy back the underlying. So they're forced to buy back Bitcoin to get out of their losing trade, which in turn means they buy Bitcoin to unwind their position. And when the bears have to buy Bitcoin, there's really no one left to sell to. That's the liquidity vacuum. Creating a liquidity vacuum as there are no more natural sellers, only desperate buyers. And that's a self-fulfilling prophecy, propelling the price higher and higher. Think about it, guys. Why did it make this move here? Because the bulls were stepping in. So buyers are stepping in. Now, the short sellers have to buy as well to get out. So we've got double the buying going on. And that gives you and me a great chance to profit, just like we did here with the perfect Bitcoin trade. There's my brokerage screenshot for you to see that exact trade right there. And the crazy part is these short sellers, they don't really have a choice. It's either close out the position by buying Bitcoin on their own, or they're going to catch a margin call and they're going to be forced to liquidate. And that's the underlying phenomenon that makes these liquidity vacuums so powerful and so consistent. For example, let's look at our trade from back in November. Now, by the beginning of November, short bets against Bitcoin were flooding in. Look how big this number is, right? You normally see it right about here. Tons of short bets against Bitcoin. And a lot of people expected Bitcoin to take a big nosedive over the coming weeks. See the news here. Crypto Briefing says it's going to go lower. All these things, not good, not good. Of course, none of that really mattered when it came to the perfect Bitcoin trade. Now, the short sellers initially, they weren't wrong, right? They were making some money at first. They're like, okay, we got this figured out. We're crushing it as Bitcoin was dropping going into the month of November. However, their success was very short-lived because on November 6th, Bitcoin started raging higher as the bulls flooded the markets. So the short sellers are betting it's going down. It's going against them. Not good for them. All of a sudden, they found themselves on the wrong side of the trade yet again. That forces them to exit their position, which means they have to buy Bitcoin at a rapid pace to unwind their positions. This again creates a liquidity vacuum as there was no one left to really sell to at that higher price. So what do you guys think happened next? Seriously, what do you think? Well, as expected, with the surge in buying activity, Bitcoin went roaring higher and higher. And had you taken 2 minutes to set your trade with me when I sent out the alert, of course, any regular brokerage works, you could have bagged another healthy winner. 130% gain over the next 10 days on the options. $1,000 into that one could have turned into $2,306. And rest assured, you don't need some complex crypto wallet to take these trades either. Each and every one of these trades can be taken from any normal brokerage account: Schwab, E-Trade, Robinhood, Tasty Trade, you name it. We're just trading ticker IBIT. No different than if you're trading SPY, QQQ, or GLD. And again, you don't have to be married to the position. We are trading it for outsized returns. That doesn't mean you have to be in love with Bitcoin and think it's going higher over the next 10 years. No, we are swing trading here for quick, punchy winners. And for you options traders, I give you both the basic call option as well as one of my handpicked spreads. So you get both of them. So you can take whichever works best for you. All we have to wait for is my custom coded indicator to flag the next liquidity vacuum. And then we're off to the races. And here you can see every single one of those up arrows pretty much nailing it right on the head. Actually, I don't even think I see a single one that would have lost here. Now, this is just like the trade I sent back to the folks in February. Folks following along with the trade alert, they got it right to their email, cell, and Telegram with both the basic call options and the hand-picked spread to them. So you can pick whichever works best for you. Now, in this case, it was only 30 cents per contract. So you could easily have bought quite a few different contracts there. You don't have to put $1,000 in. You don't have to put $2,000. You don't have to put $5,000. $30 a contract. And sure enough, only 24 hours later, this one shot up 150% overnight on the options, enough to have taken $1,000 and turned $1,500 overnight. Or maybe you put in $2,000 and caught a $3,000 payday, $3,000 profit in over 24 hours. That would be like watching $2,000 turn into $5,000 overnight. Just like I've done over and over again with my live trades that I share with you guys in real time. Now, here you can see my screenshot there. I actually took that trade, that one there that did 150% overnight. And I ended up pocketing $3,096.24 on my own account. You can see it there. I put my money where my mouth is. I take my own trades. But I wasn't the only one who took part in the fun there. Alan made $800 on the overnight move. Deb made 160% on the trade. Howard up $1,620 on the move. And today, I would love to get you started with the perfect Bitcoin trade, targeting what could be our next great win, maybe this coming week. In fact, I already have the trade outlined, set up, ready to go for members, but I still have to confirm and verify the signal. It says over the next 24 hours, over the next like 2 hours, I have to verify the signal. I got to check in what's going on with Bitcoin. It will either be today or potentially Monday, depending on what's going on in Bitcoin's price action. But that criteria is going to come right to your inbox. So if you'd like me to send it to you, give me a quick yes in the chat. Seriously, guys, post in the chat. We've had winner after winner here in the opening playbook. We've had winner after winner in the perfect Bitcoin trade. I want to get you guys the next one here on the board. Well, in the next few minutes, you'll have a chance to jump in on the newest opportunity, plus get a red hot open position we have right now. And luckily for you guys, Bitcoin is slightly down today, so you can get in for a little bit better P&L than what you would have done yesterday. Now, I'm up on it, so you didn't get the full gain, but you can still get in for a little cheaper today. But before we get there, I want to show you how the indicators work and why I believe the results will only get stronger. You see, I can constantly monitor Bitcoin's price action to get us in on the next big play. I've used my Apex indicator. We've done that here, made some money. I used my Newton tool. We've done that here, made some money. But the biggest breakthrough was finding a trigger moment to jump in when Bitcoin enters a liquidity vacuum like I've shown you today. Now, thanks to the help of ChatGPT and some coding and programming, we've been able to hone in on these liquidity vacuums at a really high rate. You see, during Bitcoin's low volatility periods, we typically see those shorts load up because Wall Street thinks, it's not really moving, it might go lower. But when that volatility suddenly expands and price breaks higher to the outside or higher to above the outside of the standard deviation, catches Wall Street completely off guard. That's when the forced liquidations begin. That's when the shorts get margin called or stopped out. In order to unwind their trade, they buy Bitcoin. And their buying adds fuel to the rally, only propelling the breakout more and more. We're seeing that right now. That's exactly when my indicators give me the green light, allowing us to target what could be the next massive move. Then all we have to do is place a quick trade to follow along, just like we've seen from the live trade alerts. This is chronologically the most recent trades to the oldest, and this doesn't show all of them, but as many as I can fit in this screenshot. You can see we're doing pretty stinking good overall. 81% win rate, 3.64 profit factor. That means for every $1 we've lost, we've made back $3.64 in gains. That's a really, really strong risk to reward. And remember, it's not like you need a crypto wallet or Coinbase account to trade this. Each and every trade alert I send you can be done from a standard brokerage account, just like trading any other stock or ETFs. And for you options traders, you get the basic calls. You also get the spread. Pick whichever one you like the best for yourself. Entries and exits all included as well. So today, for all of you who just said yes in the chat, I would like to invite you to join the perfect Bitcoin trade. And hopefully we continue with the success. We keep making money. And starting this coming week, I'll be sending you the perfect Bitcoin trade right to your email, cell phone, and Telegram. I'm hopeful we'll get an entry today. If not, I think it will come on Monday. So you don't want to miss out. Don't wait. I want this to be as easy to use as possible for everyone on board. You'll get the quick analysis, the stock criteria, the basic call option to take, and the spread if you want to. So it's all done there for you. I do the math for you. Type it all up, real easy. That way, it doesn't matter who you are, what brokerage account you have. You don't have to miss out. And of course, when it's time to exit, I follow up too. I type it all up. I say this, I'm taking profits on this trade. Here's the information. That way, you're never left guessing. Now, it's my goal to give you the very best opportunity possible on each and every trade, exactly like in that alert I just showed you, which went on to pay 193% in 21 days on the basic call options, enough to have taken $1,000 and flipped it into $2,935, or maybe you went bigger and made a little more money. But I'm not just going to give you the entry and exits alerts. I'm also going to give you my perfect Bitcoin long-term buy and hold portfolio. This is where I share my favorite tickers to invest in if you guys want to do the long-term thing. You don't have to, but this is a bonus. So I give you the ticker and sample allocations of how I personally would weight my portfolio. And as you can see, we're up huge since I gave these picks out. Obviously, I did it last year, but we're up huge. This is not a back test. Really crushing it. Not every single one's up, but the ones that are up are absolutely roaring. Now, keep in mind, I'm not your financial advisor. I don't know your personal situation and what risk levels are best for you, but I do just want to give you an ample amount of opportunity to capture the best upside if my analysis is correct, just like I've been able to do with my own personal account. And hopefully some of you guys here have been able to do as well. So this will be included as a bonus, no extra charge. Now, I think that the combination of the trade alerts and the investment portfolio is easily worth $10,000. And I can say that with a big deal of confidence, given that the model portfolio they're both well over $100,000 when you put them together. Plus the fact that some of my star students have absolutely been able to hit it out of the park. Here's David A. Here's his update here. He was up $350,000 when he sent me this. So this was last year. He set up 500,000 or on target to make over $500,000 this year. Lifetime memberships were paid off in the first trades. But of course, no matter how good the trade results have been or the success of the current students, I can't guarantee future results. So don't invest more than you could afford to lose on any single trade. Because as you know, like any investment, Bitcoin, it could go up or down. But that's exactly where I think the perfect Bitcoin trade levels up another notch. You see, when I programmed the indicator tracking the liquidity vacuums in Bitcoin, I didn't just test it to the upside. I also programmed it to tell me when we could trade Bitcoin to the downside as well. That way, if I am wrong here, which I don't think I am, but there probably will be a drawdown in crypto at some point or in Bitcoin at some point coming up. So we don't have to sit on the sidelines. We will still have a huge opportunity at our fingertips. In fact, if you look at the full price history, look at these pink arrows. They've called every single downturn in Bitcoin to a T, absolutely smashed it. So whenever it tells me that Bitcoin could head lower, I'll send you an alert right away. So if you're long on Bitcoin underlying, maybe take some profits. If you're not and you just want to trade the options with me, we'll do that. Same process as usual, except for instead of buying basic calls, we'll just use basic put options to trade to the downside. Easy peasy. Just like the two winners we had to the downside back in June, 100% on the first one, 100% on the second one, and the 51% downside payout we scored in August. Now, of course, we could sell this separately, $1,000 fee, downside Bitcoin trade alerts. Not going to do that. This is included for free. And that brings me to the last and final bonus, and I think this is a really, really big one. Right now, we've seen catalysts and trends pop up around Bitcoin each and every day, and it's an ever-growing market with new opportunities all the time. So I'm going to do ongoing Bitcoin and crypto optimization, and you'll be entitled to all of the coming testing, optimization, discoveries, and profit opportunities that my team and I come across with Bitcoin. You'll also receive extra trade opportunities included in your membership for free. So I'm going to keep on making this better and better and better and better as we go, just like I already have been. So I hope you can see that I'm not holding anything back. And of course, I'll keep track of all the trades for you in our online trade tracker so you can quickly see how we're doing. And so far, the results on the live trade alerts, they're really nothing short of incredible. 81% win rate. It's better than winning 8 out of every 10 trades. 44% average return per trade, including winners and losers. That's the average result. Average winners, 75%. So you can see that there. And a remarkable profit factor of $3.60 or of 3.64, which means for every $1 we've lost, We've made back over $3, an insane risk to reward. But what gets me most excited about the trade tracker is that when you account for all of the data so far, all of the live trades I've done, 5K starting out would have paid out $79,663 in profit. Again, this isn't a back test. I'm not showing you some hyped up, optimized curve fit numbers. These are just our real trades. I just throw them in the spreadsheet and then I'll go take a screenshot here and say, wow, we are absolutely killing it. $79,000 in profit so far. So I want to say this one more time. That's not from a back test. These are real-time alerts, which is why I'm so excited to share the results of the perfect Bitcoin trade with you. Now, it shouldn't shock you that originally we said this should be like a $4,000 a year program with how good the results are. But I said, let's take half that off. Let's make it $19.95 per year. But with the breakout happening right now in Bitcoin, a very, very awesome opportunity where we're breaking through the next liquidity vacuum and the shorts are covering. Buying Bitcoin is really, really exciting. Well, I wanted to set the membership fee at a price that almost everyone could afford today, but this is available for a limited time. So it's not $4,000 a year, not $19.95 per year. Click the link in the chat to see today's insanely low priced offer. Raleigh's going to post that right here, right now. It's a no-brainer, and you're going to be shocked when you see how good the discount is here today. So guys, click that link in the chat. Go to prosperitypub.com/PBT to get started with the perfect Bitcoin trade, or give us a call, 904-706-3537. Again, not $2,000 per year. I'm just going to tell you guys, it's like $697 a year, $700, less than $700 for a full year. I think this is the cheapest thing I've ever done before as far as price cutting. It's a no-brainer. I literally just want everybody to join today. So I don't want you to have that hurdle of overcoming a $2,000 membership fee like we've sold in the past, guys. I just want everyone to take advantage of this rare window of opportunity here on Bitcoin. That's why we're doing this limited time special. What will the new trade look like? Well, this is only going to be for the new members or current members, but the members will get that trade alert sent right to them with the options criteria, stock criteria. Again, if you like basic calls, perfect. I got you covered. If you like spreads, perfect. I got you covered. Now, if you've been attending Opening Playbook, you should have already had a taste of how good this can be, with the last one up 111% there, which would have been enough to turn $1,000 into $2,111, which would have been enough to cover your membership after one trade and still have $500 left over. So click that link in the chat to get started. Again, guys, new trade is hopefully coming up. It's not $2,000 a year. I've knocked it all the way down to $697. It might be $695, somewhere in that range. $690 for a full year, guys. It's a no-brainer price in my opinion. Plus, you'll also get access to my special masterclasses where in the recording, I walk you through the strategy step by step and even show you some of the other ways we're able to target outsized moves on Bitcoin. And of course, customer support live, guys. Once you become a member, you get access to our customer support team every single day from 10 to 1 p.m., 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. each and every day. You join in a Zoom room like this. So if you have questions, they will literally be there to hold your hand and talk you through it. It's not like there's 4,000 people in the room. It's just, a couple instructors and a couple, maybe 100 people. So you're going to get all of your questions answered right there, right then. If you want to know how to place an options trade, they can walk you through that too. So again, click that link in the chat. Join today for that incredible deal we have. I really hope you guys are pretty pleased by that price. Again, we would have charged $2,000 like we normally do, but this is just a sweet little opportunity here that we have. So I want as many people to benefit as possible. That's why we're doing this. So click that link in the chat to get started. And an important announcement here. For a limited time, I'm offering a special bonus for the most dedicated students. It's a special multi-year deal where you can save even more money on your membership fee. I believe, and Raleigh can correct me if I'm right or wrong, but guys, it's like you can get 3 years for $9.95 or something, I believe. So that's what, $350 a year, not even $330 a year. Come on. That's a no-brainer in my opinion. But that's a limited time offer as well. That's not going to be available forever. So click that link in the chat to get started. Now, I can't wait to see the results from you once you're on board with the perfect Bitcoin trade. Just like I've already been hearing from some students. Tim L made $1,200. Richard says, no brainer. Services are spot on and growing our accounts. Thank you. Jennifer up $9,000 through my programs. She missed 2 big trades because she was traveling. Pretty good. Rhonda made 60% and 69% on the perfect Bitcoin trade. Jason made 186% on the perfect Bitcoin trade. So the question is, will you be next? Now is the time to take action. Bitcoin is making that big breakout higher. Overall, it broke all-time highs, and I think it's about to run from here. So new trade is coming up. You don't want to miss it. Click that link in the chat to get started. And guys, what about lifetime access? Is there a way to get lifetime access? Well, yes. Once you take one of the spots today and click the button to submit your membership, don't exit the next page, don't refresh, don't hit the back button. That's because on that next page, you're going to get a very special invite to upgrade your subscription to lifetime access. And there's a few implications with this. First off, you're going to save thousands of dollars on the fees. So you see at the current annual cost, that $695 cost, which is already so cheap, after only 5 years, you'll be at $3,485 in membership fees. However, when you upgrade to lifetime today, it's not going to run you anything near that. It won't even be half that cost. Now, please know that with this one-time charge today, you'll never have to pay a renewal fee ever again. No maintenance charges or any hitting fees. One-time payment, and you get unfiltered access to the perfect Bitcoin trade for years and years to come, which again includes all the future optimization as well. But that's just the beginning. As a lifetime member, you'll also get a free copy of the liquidity vacuum code. This is not available anywhere else in the world. Now, that means every single day you can have new trading opportunities right at the tip of your fingertips. Like I hinted at earlier, this works great on stocks like Tesla. It works great on stocks like Oklo, high short interest stocks that